and constitutes unlawful political.
Not gonna lie, I'm waiting for the day that SWAT goes down to Paris Catacombs. I heard the Paris Catacombs can't really be explored because it's unmarked, so you could just go endlessly down unless they have like some sort of cable system that they could just keep on going and then map whatever tunnel that they did. It can be explored to a degree. Look, I'm all for it. What are the Paris Catacombs? You haven't heard of the Paris Catacombs? Underneath Paris, yeah. It's a bunch of. It's not really hidden, bro. Here, look. This we're gonna watch this.
A spiraling labyrinth of death and decay, a final rest for 6 million human bodies, something so macabre and beautiful in construction. But why wasn't the ground a suitable resting spot for the dead? This is the history of the Paris Catacombs, in almost the center heart of the city. The most central of these was the burial ground at Notre Dame des Bois Church, which was destroyed in the 9th century by Normandy invasions, then becoming part of the Church of the Holy Innocent. By 1130, it had become the entire city's main cemetery, and by the end of the century, it quickly became surrounded by the Parisian marketplace, which, if you're unfamiliar with the Parisian marketplace, like most European marketplaces, this was a central hub, especially at this time. If you needed things, if you needed meat, produce, like stuff like that, you were at the Parisian market. Everyone was going to the Parisian market. This was a very heavily populated area.
I like your tattoos. Not, I mean, like just saying.
And at this time, everyone was super disgusting. So that meant there was human rotting, decaying corpses, and blood and guts from butchered meat, along with just general refuse and waste by humans at this point, because people were still just throwing everything in the streets. This turned into a breeding ground of infection and bacteria, and there was no space for the cemetery to expand at all, being in the center heart of the city. At this time in history, lifespans were very short, with a quick turnaround on the dead, and in 18th century Paris, most people were buried in mass graves on their specific parish land. In particular, the bodies would break down over the course of 5 years, then the grave would be reopened, the bones extracted, and moved to a charnel home to make more room. With
So they would bury somebody, wait 5 years, dig them motherfuckers up. Alright, you gotta go. Rent overdue. Motherfuckers is, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers gotta go in. They would take them somewhere else. Alright, you get buried here now. That's kind of crazy. I mean, I think they do that here now too. They just don't really, promote it, but that's kind of
the
crazy.
rising amount of needed burials, their solution was to exhume the dead, take their bones, and pack them into the walls and ceilings of what they referred to as charnel homes, which is just a fancy word for mass grave. And at times these can be done very beautifully and in a way respectfully, like the Sedlec Ossuary, where some people refer to as the Church of Bones, where there's bone chandeliers and structures like that made.
Bro, the Church of
Not in this
Bones.
case. They kind of just chucked everyone together and just was like, they had so many bones, they were like, line the walls with bones. Like, they had so much, they were just like, do anything with this. This obviously wasn't a great solution and or even a successful one, because by the end of the 18th century, the burial ground was just a 6.5 foot tall pile of dirt filled with centuries of dead Parisians. Along with the traditional burials of the parish members, the remains from Hotel du Hospital and the morgue were put into the same burial site. So completely unrelated individuals were also being put into the same burial site. This led to 1/10 of the population was being buried in this one site. To put it at best, to really explain to you just how overcrowded this place.
I wonder how long you'd have to boil a bone to make it soft. I don't think bones go soft. The only time I've seen a bone go soft is if you soak it in vinegar. Was it vinegar? Yeah, vinegar.
Place was, if there was any amount of intense flooding, bodies would rise. Bodies would just rise out of the ground to the top and just be there. 6 feet into the ground might seem very deep to you. When you have, I'm not kidding you, 2 million, because that's how many people were buried at this cemetery. 2 million bodies on top of each other? That's not very deep. That's not very deep at all. In the spring of 1780, residents on the western edge of the Holy Innocents began to
So these people were just moving 2 million bones from spot. Like, where are we gonna, like, what the fuck are we gonna do with all these bones?
Complain of breathing issues, vomiting, and delirium. When inspectors came to investigate, they found that gases from the decomposing bodies had burst through cellar walls and risen to the ground floor of at least 3 homes. A royal ordinance declared innocents a threat to the city and closed it down for good. Of course, officials had to start stepping in on the whole situation, trying to remedy situations, putting decrees about you can no longer bury in sites and things of that nature. That, of course, fell on deaf ears and they did nothing. It was until the late 18th century, along with the condemning of the Catholic Church, that they decided to build 3 large new burial grounds outside of the center city, and forcing all existing parish cemeteries in the city limits to vacate, especially after a basement wall on the property adjoining the cemetery collapsed under the weight of the mass grave behind it. So now's the question.
Damn.
If they have to vacate, where the hell are you putting the bodies? Well, coincidentally, there's a different issue within the city jurisdiction at the time of mine consolidations, partially due to the fact of massive sinkholes occurring, in particular in 1974.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you guys see the sinkhole in Bangkok? Oh, alright. After this video, it happened today. It happened today. After this video, I'ma school you on the catacombs, bro. I'm surprised you ain't know about it. To be honest, Liquid. I'm surprised you ain't know about the catacombs because there's a movie called As Above as Below, some shit like that. It's a horror movie. They're in the catacombs.
A massive sinkhole referred to as the Road to Hell occurred. It sank houses, carts, and people. All of these fell over 84 feet to their death. So slamming our two problems into one solution.
84 feet to your death, bro. As above, so below. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I seen a video not recently, and it still kind of gets me because it puts a perspective on me. Because there was a video. It wasn't here in the United States. The dude was in the highway. It's a dash cam view of the car in front. It's actual motorcycle, and literally as the motorcycle is a couple feet in front of the car in the highway, a sinkhole opens up. It misses the car in front of the motorcycle, and it just swallowed up that motorcycle just right off the ground. And the car that had the dash cam stopped in time. And when you see it, it doesn't seem like it's a crazy fall. But then when you hear the news article, the dude fell 50 feet to his death. I was like, yo, imagine he was going home from work, like, just not having, probably worried about shit, or just going about your day, and then just, like, randomly, and it just kills you. Didn't kill nobody else, just you. Like, if God just said, bloop, you know what I mean? Let me take you out real quick. I always think about that story for some reason. It stayed in my head.
In 1777, Louis founded the concept, and it was.
Remember the sinkhole at the beach that swallowed the kids? Yeah. 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 Remove the chest pawn? Yeah, that's exactly how it feels like.
Endorsed by Police Lieutenant General Alexander Lenoir to turning the now unused mine quarries into the new burial tombs of the centuries of Parisian corpses. After some renovations for this move, by 1785 the plan was in action. Why the catacombs are so extensive and labyrinths and you get lost in them is because these were mine quarries. These were always made not in the most straightforward way, because it's not really how mine quarries are made. You're going where you can get stuff.
Yeah.
As recent as 2017.
That's the problem that we're actually having in New Jersey. In Route 80, I think they just fixed it, but there was an 80-foot sinkhole. Like, it was down the street from me on Route 80. It took weeks for them to even address it.
There were 2 teens that got lost in the catacombs.
Also, at the entrance of the catacombs today, there is a hole covered by water that's like 60 feet deep. Well, me and my daughter went to a mine for a school trip, and they said that when it rains, like, the tunnels and all that are underneath where we were walking at, we were allowed to go inside the mine, but not all over the place, because not everything was is categorized, or not everything was explored. they're like, yo, don't even go in there. But he showed us like tunnels that got filled up with water, and that's it. It just slowly is filling up with water. The more rain comes down or whatever. I'm assuming since this used to be a mine, some sort of mining expedition, that from what I take it, it's the same thing.
Catacombs for about 3 days and were only found due to guide dogs. The catacombs are so extensive and even undocumented, unmapped, and uncharted. That is why they are so absolutely dangerous to be inside of. For 2 years, the road from Holy Innocents and Clos de la Tombe Israel became a nightly procession of the dead, with black cloth wagons carrying thousands of ancient dead Parisian corpses, mainly so the church and Parisian locals couldn't have a reaction to the digging up and moving of 10 centuries of human bodies. Once again, just to note, Holy Innocent had buried 2 million bodies in 600 years on the same plot of land. The first evacuation of bodies began in 1780.
2 million bodies, bro. That's crazy. But you know what? Like, I kind of give them credit because I feel like anybody else would have just like, yo, just grind that shit up, or let's take it in a ship and just dump it in the ocean little by little. Like, I feel like they gave those people at least some sort of respect. Like, yo, we're not gonna destroy these bones. You gave me these were people, but we can't put them anywhere because we're gonna get fucking, we're gonna have people get sick. Let's put them in these minefields that we're not gonna go in anyway, and that's it. They'll rest in peace. Finally, I feel like that's a bit, respectful if you think about it. Like, I know some people find it like just visually kind of crazy that all those body parts, but now that you have the context of like where those bodies came from, they held on to it for 600 years. That's pretty impressive. I'm waiting for the apocalypse so I can go and make a bike out of those old bones. I'll put the front of a skull right in front of me. I'm bald anyway, bro. Put the front of the... I'll have a Shao Kahn fucking helmet.
And they did not do the last move until 1860. That is 75 years of exhuming and moving bodies and placing them into the Paris Catacombs. The first few years, it was just a mess down there, but that was until the Paris mine inspector Louis Dethroux had a goal of creating a visitable mausoleum, including renovations to provide this. He helped direct the stacking of skulls and bones by the quarry workers into the current standing patterns and displays. Using previous...
You see that? Like, they wanted to show these bones, like, they were gonna just dump it. This dude wanted to show the bones some love. Like, I don't know. I could respect that.
Used pieces of cemetery decor into it. Truly the Martha Stewart of the dead. Really putting his aesthetics forward. Along with this, he made what we can refer to as museum rooms, I guess. There's a room where he wanted to display minerals found in Paris in the mines they were currently in because it's pretty neat. Along with this, I get why he did it, but it's also, like, probably not chill, is they put on display any skulls and bones and things they found with deformities. It is great for medical science. Is it super insensitive? Absolutely, but they totally did it. It was consecrated as the Paris Municipal Ossuary in 1786, but had to take a stop due to the French Revolution in 17...
I don't agree with that, because you don't even... It depends why. Look, there's always been a fascination with oddities. Like, that's why the circus was even... Like, that's why the circus was here. You get me? Like, you went... Yeah, you got the gymnastics and all that, but you went to... Like, they had the freak show. Like, I don't think it's insensitive. I understand the concept, but I don't know. I think that's just human nature.
1989. But with the dead number rising from the Reign of Terror, the bodies started making their way into the catacombs, gaining the nickname the Empire of the Dead. Eventually, it was opened to the public in 1809 under the direct orders of Napoleon. And funny enough, when you visited it and you
Curiosity,
got at the
yes,
end,
exactly.
they would take like a survey about like how you felt about it, which is really bizarre. But one visitor in the 19th century actually stated, "Bones bent into art. arcs and rise into columns. An artistic hand created a kind of mosaic out of these final remains of humanity, whose ordered regularity only adds to the profound contemplation that this space inspires. Here, all distinctions of sex, wealth, and rank have finally disappeared. There is this very large theme about the catacombs, is that you're all...
That's another thing. We don't even know who these people were. Like, some of them could have been maybe like royalty. And just like you have people that in all sorts of like social statuses mixed into one, because your social status doesn't, like, time don't give a fuck about your social status. Like, given long enough time, you're gonna be forgotten. I was actually having this conversation with my family because we had, the topic was, do you want to get buried or do you want to get cremated? I personally want to get cremated, and my mom was giving me some opposition towards that. Imagine if someone switched out someone like King Tut and a few of those bones. You know what? I don't, like, it wouldn't surprise me. There you go. Because I heard, especially in the pyramid, you know, that's why they have those traps and all that. Motherfuckers rob people. Like, the issues that we have today isn't that new. You get me? Motherfuckers was robbing people. Motherfuckers was robbing graves. Like, dude was rich. Dude died. He don't need that crown no more. He don't need that necklace no more. Come up off that necklace. You don't need these gold coins where you going. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same. They robbed graves left and, yeah, exactly. But anyway, let me finish the story before I get side off track. So me and my mom was having a discussion, and she was opposed to it. But for me, when we buried my grandfather, you know, that cemetery is very old in Puerto Rico, and some of those grave sites are a couple 100 years old. But when you see them, it's all grown over. The names are kind of illegible. Um, you know, like, how greedy am I that I want to be immortalized when, like, yeah, my grandkids might remember me. Maybe my great grandkids, and if I'm lucky, my great great grandkids. But after that, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why the fuck am I buried there after a while? No one's gonna visit. No one will visit you after a while. That's my point. So that was my argument for wanting to get cremated. I don't care what you do with my corpse, to be honest. I just want a little bit. A little bit. I don't, like, if you want to dump the whole thing, I don't give a shit either. Dump my whole fucking remains. I just want a little bit to get spread in El Yunque in Puerto Rico. That place is I have a very strong connection to that place. Shoot my body into space. Honestly, that honestly would be a nice way to go. I'm not gonna lie to you. That would be a nice way to go. There are people that literally live in the catacombs. See, now you're gonna have to. Now you're gonna make me fact check you. Do people live in the cat? You gonna fucking rage bait me? No, people do not permanently live in the Paris Catacombs because they're dangerous, restricted, and not. However, a secret community known as the Cataphiles. Bro, the Cataphiles. Hold up. The fucking They're called the Cataphiles. I can't make this shit up. Alright. Let's read this shit. No. People do people do not permanently live in the official Paris Catacombs because they are dangerous, whatever. However, a secretive community known as cataphiles use the vast illegal networks of underground tunnels and chambers beneath Paris for parties and short-term stays. Though living there long-term is impractical due to logistical difficulties like obtaining food, water, and supplies, as well as the danger of getting lost. Blah, blah. So yeah, we have UK got UK got cataphiles, man. UK got cataphiles, bro. That's crazy. That is fucking crazy. Cataphiles, bro. Yo, like it just sounds. It's. I don't know. The word is just crazy to me. All right, I'm gonna show y'all the sinkhole in Bangkok. Look at this shit. A 150 feet, guys. 150 feet. Vehicles were seen attempting to reverse as the floor opened up while pedestrians fled. They said I heard at least no one was hurt. No, some people got swallowed up, I think, liquid. Cuz that's not it doesn't stop there. Like the hole gets bigger. It was actually crazy. Like I'm going to play the rest of it, but from what I understand, I did some from what I read they said that the ground in Bangkok is almost like clay, and they had tunnels. If you see in the video when I show it, you're gonna see like they have a tunnel, and supposedly those were like tunnels that they were doing for like mining. I guess I honestly don't know the reasoning, but there were man-made tunnels there that kind of swallow up all that dirt, and that's how it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Dozens of police and city officials cordoned off the site while a pickup truck teetered previously on the edge of the hole. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Yeah, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Oh, okay. No casualties were reported, but 3 vehicles sustained damage, according to Bangkok officials. Okay, so my mistake. No one got hurt, thankfully. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Swallowing up the hole still. Authorities said that the collapse was likely linked to recent heavy rain and a leaky pipe. I would have jumped in and say someone got hurt. Yeah, you stupid. A sinkhole is a depression in the ground caused by the collapse of underlying rock, often triggered by natural causes. Okay. I told you I'm done. But they can also be formed by the collapse of man-made underground voids. But you see it, look, bam! Whoever's the owner of this truck is fucking praying, bro. Whoever's the owner of that truck is fucking praying.
Run.
Exactly. Exactly. 150 feet, bro. No one got hurt though. 150 feet. That's fucking crazy. Along how it's, bro. It's in Asia. They probably patched that shit up already. Like motherfuckers is running. Motherfuckers is driving now on it. It's not like here, bro. They'll fix that shit in like 5 minutes, bro. This person, Darby Valentine. That was actually a pretty good history lesson on the catacombs. So I want to show her some love real quick before moving on.